Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL, or Reading Between the Lines. This one's going to be a very big one, as there's a lot of topics and a lot of my thoughts, personal opinions that I want to share in this video, but I will make sure that the video has all those nice little jumping points so you can jump to whatever topic or subject you want to go to. So hopefully you do enjoy this video. Let me know, as usual, what your thoughts are on any specific topic, and I'll definitely be reading those. Anyways, first things first, we have the coin shop update. Although I wasn't awake for the live stream, there's something interesting here. I think the system is pretty much more or less the same as when they announced it. Nothing big is changed. There was a wording here that did concern me, but one of my guildmates, I'll give him a shout out, Koroshime, he was kind enough to show me a screenshot from the stream itself. So basically the writing here is receive 10 coins when you get 2 duplicates of 5-star. We're talking about MLs. That's a big change because this is 7 duplicates, so that one actually made sense, right? 7 duplicates meaning that you have 1 original and you have 7 extras. If you take that into consideration, then this one would mean that you need 1 base. So let's say Maid Chloe, you have 1 Maid Chloe, you need 2 duplicates of her. That means 3 Maid Chloes total. That was a big change if that was the case, but it wasn't, so that's just a typo there. So for those who are reading and you're wondering, hey, wait, is that changed? Don't worry, you're just like me. Yeah, no, it's not changed. So pretty much the same. You can see the preview here. It's 64 of the Covenant coins to get 1 hero. There are 2 heroes featured. It is 40 coins for ML5. Again, depending on the rotation. You can't refresh the rotation, so none of that is pretty much changed. Actually, it's pretty much the same. I did that video a couple months ago, so if you haven't checked that out, maybe check that out for my full thoughts on the coin shop system. Arguments of like, oh, it's like a whale system, whatever. In my opinion, there are some whales that I've reviewed that they have the amount of units, they have the currency. They'll probably most likely go for the equipment selection chest, the random equipment. So this one, this is pretty OP. Talked about this as well. You get to preview what you want. There's 30 refreshes, and you can just buy 1 out of the 3. You don't need to buy all of them, but you could preview the stats before you get them. So I mean, it's pretty good. But those are only for like players who have, like, you know, max imprinted of the RGB counterpart, max imprinted of the ML. So let's say, for example, Ruel, triple S Ruel, triple S Destina, and they still have dupes to go. This system will really benefit them. In terms of they could skip a full level of RNG, which is the substats usually. Like if they buy equipment pack, you're kind of slaved to what kind of main stat, what kind of substat you have. But if you could preview it, oof, that's going to make the gear gap slightly bigger, for sure. In terms of, I guess, free to play who have gotten lucky / unlucky, getting a lot of dupes like a same ML, here's your chance to get the one you want. I won't be able to get any. I know this is always gonna be asked. Hey Jay, how many can you get? You know, like how many dupes do you have? I don't have enough for an ML. I have a ton for the RGB one, so that would be interesting. That also makes skipping RGB non-limited banners more worthy. So what I've been doing for like the past, like maybe almost a year now, is I haven't been summoning every single RGB banner except the limited heroes. Now this will pay off a lot more because I have a lot of dupes, so I think I'm gonna catch up there. So that's my thoughts on the coin shop. I mean, it's fine. I've said it before. I don't think it's a whale system. I think it's a system. It's considered a loyalty RNG system. If you got lucky and you've been playing Epic 7 for a long time, you're gonna get some reimbursement here. So I think this is a good system all around. It's a better than not having it sort of system. Limited number of summons of the 5-star hero. To be honest, I don't even know if this is needed. That we get a nice piece of data, but I don't know if it's needed on the hero screen itself. This is in the hero journal apparently. I guess maybe for like a history thing, like even after you traded your heroes, you'd be like, ooh yeah, I had like 10 crows in the past or something. I don't know. It's kind of like a unnecessary thing in my opinion, but I'm not complaining about it. Second thing is Powder of Knowledge shop update. So here we go. They will have one of the artifacts on the banner basically. You see RNL here used as an example. RNL is not a limited banner. So Rihanna and Lucilia is not a limited one, but it still costs the same as a limited one. So in this case, again, unless you're in a huge rush, and in my opinion, you'd have to be a huge whale. So everything, okay. So basically, I just gonna say this. In terms of like playing on a free-to-play account, I have been doing that for like, I don't know, 6-7 months now. So I know what's possible in terms of a free-to-play account. Powders is probably one of the things that you won't get. Like gold, crafting materials, getting all that stuff from the free energy we have. That's all pretty possible in a free-to-play account. But getting powders is almost nearly impossible. Assuming you're 100% free-to-play, right? So powders are, I mean, I would say that, yeah, if you need a limited artifact, let's say Rengar specialty drink coming back, Draco Plate here in the example, and Draco Plate is back for this week or this upcoming cycle. Like it's worth the powder, I would say, just because I know a lot of players, and myself included, chasing limited artifacts, not getting the limited artifact, getting triple S of the hero, and even more than triple S of the hero. Even with the coin shop, it doesn't make those experiences worth it. So I would definitely do that now. Powder of Knowledge will always be refreshed every month or so whenever the refresh happens, but the artifact doesn't. So like if you have the ability to save for like an upcoming limited artifact that you've always wanted, let's say Rengar specialty drink again, I know that a lot of players, even the second time around with SSB, still missed out on it just because they summon, maybe they're free to play, don't have much resources, but they only got SSBs. Alright, so the system, very good, very expensive though. I still have to say it's very expensive. I can't say anything more about that they've added it now. I wish they didn't. I wish they added this sooner, especially when Landy's banner was here, because now I like, what if Landy's buff, apparently Landy's getting a buff, right? I'm putting air quotes right now, I'm not quite sure. Don't take my word for it, I've only heard it, it's like rumors. If Landy does get a buff and her artifact becomes better because of the buff, and you missed out on the artifact, isn't it kind of salty that they didn't implement this earlier? In my opinion, they had this ready, but they were just waiting. It kind of sucks that they had to wait for Luna to return to introduce the system. I love Smilegate, but man, like it's just like, oh gosh, like you could have done it, just you could have made people clap, you know, you could have made people happy, but you decided to do it now. Regardless, Luna, myself, it's not gonna really affect me this time. For players who know me very well, I have a triple S Luna and another triple S in my storage. First triple S was because when Luna came out, she was the first limited for my gaming experience on global, and Luna at that time was really good. She was even good in defense, if you can imagine that. But the second time she came around, she had Draco Plate. Now I made enough mid videos complaining about that, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. But she's back again now with Draco Plate. I mean, if you're a player who have gotten what you needed, I would say maybe the Draco Plate might be worth buying. Because I know a lot of players right now are realizing like Alencia on Draco Plate is super good. There's a lot of warriors on Draco Plate super good. I think Shu as well. I don't have Shu, but I think players use them. Fire Ken, stuff like that. So maybe, I mean, this is your time to maybe pull another one. Maybe not summon, but just use the powder shop Draco Plate. I myself, I might even think about doing that too. It might be worth it. I mean, it's the same thing as the Bottle of Knowledge at this point for me, because I do have 2 copies, but maybe I want 3, right? But now the banner is back, so that might be a big bait. Luna does have an EE. I'll talk about that in its own section. But I'm surprised that they pumped out Luna this quick. I think she was for the first year on global on the Valentine's event, and then she did come in the Halloween event last year. So I mean, I think this is on schedule. But yeah, I think luckily if you did pull Landy and you're not new, you had Luna, you don't need to pull for it anymore. So in terms of the banner returning, I'm gonna say my thoughts here. Outside Draco Plate, Luna's still not really worth it. I looked at the EE, and I'll talk about that like I said not really worth it to summon in terms of the PvP meta at the moment. We might get some players, 1 or 2 that use her, but in my opinion the EE won't change her so much that you will miss out on Luna if you don't pull her. I don't think you will. Anyways, we'll continue on. So, special side story, Bloody Roses. Watch the trailer. I'm not gonna watch it just sake of my own YouTube like copyright claims and stuff like that, but very cool. New animations again. We got Blood Moon Haste featured. We have the dude that was, I think, Melissa's lover from last year, but he made a showing like somewhere here around in the video, and then Melissa at the end. So kind of cool. Assassin Kali Haste. Don't know what the story is gonna be like now with ML Haste in the action. But very cool artwork. I'll say this. I mean, Epic 7 has the style that you do this like a sepia tone thing, and really does have that kind of old gothic-y vibe to it. This is very cool. I can skip down a bit. A couple new artifacts upcoming, and just I believe they're free in terms of like the story type artifacts. 3-week event. And yeah, and then look at the art. It's really cool. I like looking at the art that they put here. It's interesting. Is that Hebrew? They make like some kind of Aramaic or Hebrew on the right side. I wonder if that actually says anything in the book there. And then Bloody Roses. Okay, we'll just continue on. Yeah, so yeah, it's event artifacts. I'll talk about that. Limited pets, and also limited pets in general, in terms of like special event pets. But there is always going to be that limited ML pet. It's a battle type. Kind of looks cute. It's got a heart shape. It looks like a heart-shaped bat thing. I'll probably use it. So I've never used my pet summon tickets since they implemented the free daily summons, which is good enough for fodder. And if you get an S, for fantastic. If you get a Moonlight one, even better. I save all my tickets for events like this though, in case I want to collect. You may as well spam it when it's limited. Artwork on these artifacts though, I have to give them credit. All 3 are actually very good. I like them a lot. Deals 100%. Deals 100 fixed damage to target after attacking. This is max. I can't really think of a way this will be used in PvP scenarios. I'm not quite sure actually. After attacking 100, it's not gonna really benefit from like evasion meta. Whereas like a Gunther with Uberi's Tooth with high enough attack, you'd be able to eat through a Tempest Surin in one hit. When she even caps 50%. Granted, she's not on Orius or whatever, and then you can kill off Remnant Violets and stuff like that. So I don't know about the fixed damage. I'm thinking myself, like the first thing I saw this, I thought about the Molagora challenge, where that little Molagora wants to take a piss, but he can't. Like he's trying to hold in his pee. I think that this one will be able to one-shot him because it's 100%. It's 100 fixed damage. That Molagora challenge does lock it to 1 damage per strike or per hit of the skill itself. So if it's like a Vildred S3, I think it's like a 4 or 5 hit. You'll do 4 or 5 damage, but this deals 100. I don't know where this will be used. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any ideas where this will be used outside of that Molagora challenge. Maybe future PvE content as well. But it's a 4-star one, so I don't think it's like a worthy max grade one. Like you're doing like 100% more damage from the level 1 there, but I don't know if it's worth it long run. A lot of RNG on on the other 2 artifacts. This haste art is fantastic as well. The eyes are big though in my opinion, but max level after attacking a single attack has a 15% chance to detonate any bleeding and burn effects on the target at the end of the turn. 15% is a little bit low. Outside of that, this might have some use, but 15% proc rate is just way too low. This Tenebria, I mean, you guys, I think by this time you guys know that I'm a leg man. Oh man, the artifact there, it does attract me on a fundamental level. I won't say more to that, but the legs, man, those legs. And then after attacking with a single attack, has a 15% chance to steal 1 buff from the target. This, in my opinion, with the lower proc rate, this has better use, in my opinion, compared to haste. In my opinion, this is more use, but again, it's 15%, is very, very low likelihood, and I'm assuming you would need effectiveness to do this. So I mean, on the off chance you have a 15% chance to proc this artifact, they have a 15% chance to resist the buff steal. So at least based on ML Rin's buff steal, it does count as a strip, so you do need effectiveness. If they resist it, you don't strip it, and therefore if you don't strip it, you don't also steal the buff. I'm assuming it works the same in terms of you need effectiveness. And no, artifacts do not skip the effectiveness check. I don't know why this is still like predominant on the internet. There are still people I run into just like, hey, doesn't like Abyssal Crown ignore resistance? No, artifacts do not ignore resistance check until it states that it ignores resistance check. It won't. Alright, so top model Luluca. I gave my initial thoughts on her when she was released about 2 weeks ago in terms of her info and video. My thoughts on her are slightly skewed. I think she is really good. I talked about her survival, I talked about her usefulness in the meta. Now that I have Athletica, I've played a lot with Athletica Cleave, prepping a showcase video for Athletica for you guys, and in that showcase video, one of the biggest features I did was swap in a ton of different heroes, just to show that Athletica is like a really good opener, and I would say even enabler for other heroes. So even the heroes that you would not even think about building, you would use here. So top model Luluca, I think, really fits in that realm, as there's a lot of GVG defense, AI based defense teams in Arena and GVG, that I see that top model Luluca will be really, really good with something like an Athletica offense. And so I mean, I've shifted my point into I think in this current meta, she's a must pull. The only reason why I don't want to chase like meta countering heroes is because I feel that they will have more limits. But this is Smilegate here. They do have a very, very good developer buffs. So because of her innate kit is already very, very strong, I think that she's definitely a must have. And even if you're fearful of the meta changing in the future and she's not relevant, Smilegate will buff her. And it really does I think they show a lot of love to the character Luluca. So in that sense, I don't think that pulling her, you'll regret her. I really want her now, but I gotta keep my desire meter or desire sensor lower, otherwise the the game will never give me ML Luluca. In terms of the hero kit, I talk about it in the video itself, so if you want to go into my thoughts and in-depth of her strengths and weaknesses, definitely watch that video instead. I won't go into details there. Magic Scholar Doris. Alright, so one thing, before I say anything else, she looks fantastic. I think she's a fantastic hero. I think I gotta build her. I think she's priority in terms of specialty change. Specialty change hero, she's a priority build. But in terms of her art, there's only one thing I noticed after she removed her hat, and after she technically looks a bit more beautiful than her previous outfit. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed at her eyebrows. Her eyebrows are way too short. You know, it's not a good thing to have short eyebrows. In terms of like a facial structure thing. Both males and females on a subconscious level are more attractive, more inclined to darker eyebrows or longer eyebrows. Alright, so Jake giving these kind of weird random studies. Longer eyebrows, so she doesn't have longer eyebrows and therefore she's not that attractive, sadly. Otherwise she looks very beautiful. I might do a Photoshop thing and extend her eyebrows a bit. Short eyebrows and eyebrows going downwards, they're not good. They're not good. You will notice that more and more. You look at the celebrities that you really like. I don't know, like what, just look at them, look at the pictures, notice their eyebrows. The most attractive ones always have the longer eyebrows or dark and thick eyebrows, right? Anyways, Primal Light. So after, so dispel one buff, debuff from an ally with a light magic, and then before recovering the health, increasing the combat range by 50%. Amount recovered increases proportional to the target's max health. So now she has a cleansing ability. Although she doesn't bring more than that, it's still better than nothing. There's one thing I was thinking before I was looking at the notes, is that for her to be relevant in the meta, she has to be able to cleanse. She has a lot of stuff, and I didn't expect AoE cleanse. I didn't expect like a full immunity team buff. Otherwise, she's competing with Realms of Momo and Angelica and other heroes like that. Ray, DJB. I don't think that it's smart for them to do that. So it's kind of good that they have it only to one target. I think that's okay. I think it's fine, because everything else on the table she brings is going to be really good, especially in RTA. I think. Especially when you're not dealing with heavy debuff teams. Something like a single target defense break, single target hit chance down, something like that. She'll deal with that totally fine. So into more like DPS based fights, I think she's gonna be a really top chosen healer in those fights because of defense buff, because of heal over time. But we'll continue here. I'm gonna talk about her skill enhancement rune. So Faith rune increases speed by 5. Fantastic. She needs it. She definitely needs it. Now she'll be on par with something like Angelica level-ish. I mean, she's still slow. She has the slowest base speed in the game, I believe. But now with that extra 5, that will ramp her up into that much needed realm in terms of the Soul Weaver that's going to actually be doing stuff. Yes, I know, I've seen people actually build her before her specialty change she announced. 180 speed, okay, no problem, but I mean, they're giving her a lot of speed gear to get that. Now with that 5 extra, you can have that 5 extra speed roll into something else, right? Something else that you may need more than the speed, or giving her that extra speed will still be beneficial anyway. Decrease the hit chance down by 5%, just their S1. So she does it at blind. Health rune, it increases health by 10%. That's very good for her. She's a Cancer Soul Weaver, although 3-star, but definitely much needed in that department. Solitude rune, it recovers health of allies by 2% after being attacked by a dark elemental enemy. That's kind of nice to have. She has a very interesting niche where dark elemental enemies hitting her will give her extra benefits. That's very nice to have. I mean, just thinking about like bringing her into like a Specteni fight, even in RTA, they can't really control where Specteni hits on the S1. What if they hit her? That healing could be beneficial. 2% healing of all allies. If you're talking about, let's say, the 4 Horsemen or the Knight meta, 2% on those high HP heroes is going to be good. But of course, we got Battle Frenzy to deal with, so long-term wise, not that good. This may make her into one of top elemental baits as well, since she has really high stats and like high base defense. I don't think she's wait, she is a Cancer? I thought she wasn't a Cancer. I must be wrong. Anyways, high base defense and now high HP pool. She might be interesting to bring into an AI based fight. So like she might be your light bait now. Literally, she can heal. There's other aspects to it too as well. Increased effect resistance by 25%. I think that's the same as Momo, what Momo got on her tree as well. It's been a long time since I've looked into that, but take that for granted. Much needed on her type of Soul Weaver. Has a 10% chance to increase defense for all allies for 1 turn after being attacked by a dark enemy again. So again, that same concept. Will she be good into AI based fights? I think maybe. Sacrifice rune, 100% chance to increase combat readiness of the cast by 5% after using Manic Bullet. So the S1 again, very small jump, but every single percent does count. Increase effect resistance of all allies by 5%, same as Momo. Harvest rune, 100% chance to decrease the damage suffered by a critical hit by 30%. So this is very good. So she has basically the innate passive of LQC. When attacked by dark elemental enemy, when more than 1 damage reduction effect is granted, the only strongest effect is applied. I can imagine her into, no one really runs an assassin collie on a defense team, but I have seen it, especially on lower guild war. She might be that light elemental bait you might want. I mean, reducing it by 30% is very, very strong, and you can build it really tanky as well. And she heals all allies as assassin collie or whoever the light the light elemental hero is. Oh, sorry, yeah, dark elemental hero is hitting her. She's gonna get a lot of benefit. And ML Ken defense teams, ML Ken's not gonna go through that. That's for sure, 100%. Yeah, and then it doesn't stack. So it doesn't stack with Adamant Shield or Sea Armand's passive or stuff like that. So the damage reduction, only the highest effect is granted. So hers will most likely be it. There's nothing higher than 30% at this point in terms of a damage mitigation, like pure. And then has a 100% chance to dispel one additional debuff from the target. So so that's actually very good. So giving Primal Light her SC actual change one, an additional one. So two it's a single target two debuff dispel. Very nice to have. Drop rate up, haste. Not surprising that he's coming back into Halloween. I am more interested to see whether or not he's gonna get any buff as well. Obviously Luna's not getting a buff, so they're still not touching a limited hero and buffing them with a 10-foot pole. They're not doing that. Adding an EE, the first limited hero to get an EE though, so that's pretty exciting. I'm gonna keep these sections together. First EE on a limited hero, but here we go. So we got that Dragon Emerald, up to 14% attack. Okay, she has pretty decent base attack. Will increase with her. If you have Hell Cutter on her, it's gonna be crazier. But maybe you're not using Hell Cutter because you got these new EEs with the new new situations. Infinity Slash. So increases the combat readiness by 15% after using Infinity Slash. Might be really good with dual attackers. So into PvE scenarios, she still might be the queen of a single target damage in PvE. So I'm talking about maybe Abyss, right? So increase the combat res by 15%. You got a Kitty Clear, so you got a Tamarine or something. You can spam dual attacks. Maybe you got to SC Roz. Spam dual attacks. She's gonna get turns all day, right? So 15% combat readiness and Infinity Slash. When you get really lucky, you just get really lucky with the 10-hit combo. Does a lot of damage. It looks really cool. But I think that's the main reason why she's not used in PvP. It's because of her S1 2 RNG. So you could end up with like 0, almost no damage, or you can end up with a lot of damage. But that's the biggest problem. I think in RTA, this is why Charles isn't highly drafted anymore, mainly because he's an RNG hero. And having RNG heroes on your side is not going to help the RNG you still have to overcome while facing your opponents. So I think that in terms of Luna, EE, fantastic, cool, but I mean, she's not going to be used in PvP, not a lot. If she is, it's only going to be for a time, and people are going to realize it's still not worth the investment into PvP, at least in the meta we're facing right now. Ragnar's Spear is the second one here. Decreases the enemy's attack for 2 turns when using Ragnar's Spear. 2-turn decrease attack with her own 2-turn death break. I mean, again, it speaks of more PvE here. But if the other one is grant an extra turn to the caster when an enemy is defeated by Ragnar's Spear. So, I mean, again, it doesn't seem like it's well designed. I think again, if you look at PvE, I think okay, it's fine. All 3 may be good. Maybe the last one is not as good. Maybe the last one's only good for PvP. But again, if you kill someone with Ragnar's Spear, you grant an extra turn, you lose the defense break on the target, right? So ideally, they could have designed it in a way where she would somehow get an extra turn after defense breaking. I think that would probably be more usable. And even then, it's still difficult because you still have to overcome the S1 RNG. So I personally don't like the design of the second S3 skill. Grants extra turn to the caster when the enemy is defeated. So you lose the defense break. It's either this. It's like if you don't kill them, you may land a defense break. If you kill them, you get an extra turn, but you lose the defense break that could have been used on something else to finish off. So it doesn't have really a lot of chemistry here. That's my opinion on it, but let me know in the comments what you think about this EE. I'm not really impressed with it, but at least they're showing EEs into limited heroes now. So either they buff the EE in the future, or they still think about developing and buffing Luna. Unless they really want to just shelve her as a PvE hero, which there's a lot of other heroes now that does better than Luna, sadly. Celine's is quite interesting though. Celine's, I will have to say, is quite interesting. You got a 12% crit chance. Huge one for Celine here. I think Celine's is going to be really good, but in terms of her usefulness, it's still going to be literally the same. The only difference now is that you can make her more consistent on like an AI defense team, or even in an RTA draft. There's less RNG. In my opinion, everybody's gonna go for Intuition 2, but let's talk about Intuition 1 first. So grants the caster stealth for 2 turns when using Blink. 2-turn stealth, I think it's okay. Making her, you know, invisible to damage, that might be okay. Hard to use in RTA, because if you're using her in RTA, they're most likely gonna be cleaving you. So you're gonna have AoE. So again, the stealth doesn't really help because she doesn't have a barrier to protect herself, unless maybe you've drafted FCC. But again, if you're drafting her, you're counter cleaving, and they may have pre-ban FCC. So stuff like that. I don't know if Smallgate really thought about it. I mean, maybe there's some big brain play I'm missing here, but I think the stealth part may be useful more for a defense team, maybe Guild War defense, because the stealth could, I don't know. If I see a Celine on the defense, I usually strike her out first, like kill her off, like Assassin said, boom, nuke, she's dead. So she can't even blink. There's a pun in there, man. There's a pun somewhere in there. Okay, so the second one, I think this one's gonna be the key. This is the better designed one. When using Blink, damage dealt is increased by 10%, so that's already really good, and attacks the enemies with the highest attack. It almost feels like they're forcing you to pick one or the other. It's like you're never gonna use Intuition 1, you're just gonna go for Intuition 2. Okay, thanks for making it obvious. But attacks the enemy with the highest attack. This is gonna be much more useful, although still baitable. It's still baitable. Because now let's say if you use this on a defense team, ideally people would be like, okay, they're gonna go with like an Oxlots into J Kisei. J Kisei will have the attack buff. But what if you don't do that, right? What if you don't do that? What if you bait with another hero with higher attack, right? Like you worked out the math, maybe having a Gunther on your team just standing there with like 10k attack or 9k attack is already better than a J Kisei with an attack buff. So she goes straight into Gunther, and the Gunther is super tanky and has a 70% chance for them not to crit, and he doesn't die. Then but it's I'm not complaining. I'm just you know, I like working out these theory crafts in my mind here. Much more usable in RTA drafts, 100% more usable. Whichever one Oxlots does pump up, if you allow Oxlots through, it will most likely kill that target. The other thing is though, if the enemy does draft, let's say Oxlots, Athletica, RB, and let's say they go J Kisei, you gotta ban that RB. But if you ban the RB, you're super screwed because they got Athletica, right? Because if she blinks and kills RB, then he gets a free cleave too. So I mean, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. I definitely think that this is gonna be good. Celine's EE is probably the highlight of the two here. 12% crit chance. I would say two out of 3 skills are really good. Thunderclap is the S3. Remember that she does cleanse herself before attacking, so if she's not silenced, if she's not provoked, if she can actually use the S3, she does cleanse herself. So it's a very, very good skill. I sometimes still forget about that. I remember the evasion. I remember like the ignore damage share or whatever the S3 has. Oh no, was it the S2? No, one of the skills has ignore damage share. Maybe not the S3. But damage dealt is increased by 10%. Already very strong skill. So now with the crit chance, you can pump it more into crit damage or even attack. So very, very good. Celine's very solid. I think some design flaw on the stealth one, in my opinion. But let's move past that. Halloween limited pets added. This is what I was talking about before. If you do have the pet tickets like me, you're saving them, may as well spam them now. They do look kind of interesting. You got little mummy wrappings on them. New expedition boss reward improvements. I will have to say this. I am kind of interested in just seeing like how this works. So obviously they're keeping only 3 bosses, but there's nowhere, at least unless I missed it, it says that the new expedition boss will be updated this coming cycle, so in November. But what happens to the Lich? Like, is he removed permanently? And it doesn't really give a hint on, like, are they rotating bosses now? And if they are rotating bosses, are all 3 going to be rotated? Although arguably, I think, you know, if they keep the destructive Gigantus as the permanent one, I don't think people are going to be upset about it, because those 3, technically these 3 reforged mats are going to be the most sought after anyway. Not a lot of people do golem, and if they do, they have to hunt them, and they may as well get the reforged from the hunt itself. Maybe that's what Smilegate is thinking. I'm not quite sure if that they necessarily need to remove the Lich though. If it's on rotation, I understand, but I guess maybe we'll have to wait till next cycle just to see. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure. It doesn't say it, like, it doesn't, I don't think it says it. Yeah. But new rewards as well. So there's Molagoras there. Very, very nice. Very smart. Inputting Molagora into this while people are still always going to be low on Molagora. Doesn't matter how much ways you introduce it into the game. We're always going to be a bit low depending on the pace of how we build our heroes. This is just a very nice to have. I don't even think this was still asked for, but very good move here, Smilegate. Take the initiative. Take the initiative, and people will definitely reward you for it, right? So that's very good. Artifact equipment usage statistic update. I don't really care about the usage, to be honest. It might be useful for players who have no access to YouTube guides and stuff like that to see, like, oh, what's meta. So having it within game I think is good. One thing I have to say though, this I have to key on. This has been bugging me for months since the magic equipment, that you couldn't change your artifact while you were here. But I think you can. So you could change it now in the manage equipment view. Very, it's like a must-have feature. Very nice, very nice. I'm very happy for that. Again, these are the statistics. I don't really need to see that myself. Max rank will be increased. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So the maximum amount of energy will also increase. So 5 more levels. It's gonna be easy for those who hunt all day. Super easy. Just imagine this as more free energy cap for yourself while you sleep or something. And I think the rest I don't want to touch upon. Just yeah, icon changes and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, so that's been a really big one here in terms of RBTL. A lot of subjects. Again, I have let me know what your thoughts are in terms of all the changes, all the things happening. You know, what do you want to see next? Yeah, so I'm gonna end this here. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.